10 minutes, maybe.
10 minutes, right? So, Sudeep, are you there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the tentative time for a speaking test in the actual examination?
10 to 13 minutes, sir.
Hmm. Okay, so who is remaining over here? Naran, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here, but I actually don't know what is the actual time.
Okay, no problem at all. Okay, so what is the total time? Means actually it may range from 11 minutes to 13 minutes, right? But in some cases, that is the exceptional case. In some cases, the actual test might be elongated to 15 minutes or something like that. Some of the participants or some of the students or the candidates, they claim that, or they generally say that they were conducted the test for about 15 minutes or so, and lots of questions were asked in that way, but actually they did not count the actual time on their own, but it is just the saying what they have reported once they first or they completed their speaking test, actual test over there, right? Okay, anyways, so what is the tentative time over there in speaking test, whether it is GT or academic test, is none other than 11 minutes to 13 minutes. Just keep this in your mind. But it's actually we are amid the COVID-19 and its pandemic situations, so the test is conducted albeit differently in the actual academic or GT test over there, right? So they are just conducting around 7 to 8 minutes test in order to test the candidate's ability to speak, to understand, and to answer well over there, right? And it is done a little bit differently in a sense that some of the test centers are conducting the test through the what Zoom, through the Zoom or something like that. So the person or this examiner would be already over there in the another room conducting the Zoom session, right? And that would be recorded at the same time, which I am doing at this moment. Okay, so in this way it is conducted. So whatever is done, but at least you need to be well familiar with the format, how it is tested, and how the score is offered to you, and so on. So uh, we would be talking about that. So one question for you all. So what will you do if you are given the chance to keep your friend or to set your friend as the examiner of your speaking test? What do you think, Sudeep?
I don't know, sir.
Hmm. Rahul, what do you think?
Did you?
If you get the chance to keep your friend as the examiner of your speaking test over there, so what will you think? What will you do over there? What would be the overall performance that day?
Easy,
So
sir.
I
Quite
think,
easy.
so I
Ah,
think I will not be nervous,
mm-hmm. Good, great. So,
and and yeah.
mm, and yes, okay, great. So it would be quite a bit easier for you. Okay, you mean to say so?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So what would you do, Shraddha? You there still?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you get the chance to keep or to appoint your friend as your examiner for this actual speaking test, then what would be the conditions or what sort of answer will you give over there?
So I would be very comfortable giving him or her answers.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be nervous, and I will be like giving quite frank answers as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yes, it should be. And why I am asking this question to you at this moment is that whosoever is there, no problem matter for you. You should think that the person who is there uh, in your actual examination test, speaking test, you need to consider him or her as your friend, right? And you need to present your ideas lucidly over there, clearly and properly over there, and you just need to focus on what you are going to do because you have paid for them or him or her to conduct your speaking test over there, right? If you are paying, then have you ever Have you ever showed your different behavior or negative behavior at the restaurant where you have been there and paid something to eat, and you have eaten that? Is that so? No. Actually, if
No.
you are there for paying, then definitely you would be enjoying. You'd be what? You'd be feeling free to clean that or those food stuff, right? So you are paying over there, means you are purchasing the time for him or her to conduct your test. And then why should you need to be nervous at that time? So that's why you need to just keep in mind that you should not focus on the person who is there conducting your test there, but you need to focus on what you are going over there, right? Or what you need to speak on. That is most important. Just regard those people as your friends. They are nothing else, and perhaps you may not meet him or her second time as well. So why need to worry about that? So let's start. Okay, so it's welcome note to a speaking section or the parts. What you need to do. Here are some of the tips that you need to focus on. Be prepared and try to relax, because the first impressions are really important, right? They are really important in a sense that first impressions would give the examiner that you are able to speak and you are positive minded person or something like that. So you should always reply with an answer that is informative and as interesting as possible. You need to answer in that way, so that the examiner who is sitting over there to conduct your speaking test would be a bit curious about you, and at the same time he or she might offer you the good score, right? So Shraddha, what is the total blind score of speaking then?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Oh, that's why I'm asking, because you need to be clear from the very beginning. So the each module is of 9 band, right? And altogether four modules would be there, four sections would be there in each IELTS test, right? Listening we did that, speaking we are doing the same now, and then writing and reading. These are the four types of modules that would be tested over there in the actual examination test, right? So each module is of 9 bands, and finally the average score would be calculated, and finally that would be the overall score to you. Okay, so that's the case. So in speaking, you need to be well prepared and try to relax in the sense that you need to just sit comfortably. And most of the people, what they are doing during the actual examination test are sometimes they would be looking at the ceiling, sometimes they would be looking at right hand side or left hand side, sometimes down and something like that. Okay, so if you are sitting comfortably and properly, then you need to be relaxed over there, but it does not mean that you need to have something else, some liquids, and feel relaxed at the time of speaking. No, i I do not mean to say so. Okay, so the first impressions are really important, and hence you need to focus in that way. Okay, next thing what you need to do is that you need to be willing to talk and be positive. Suppose if you are entering over there in the speaking room, but you seem to be a bit what, introvert, and do not willing to talk to, then at that time the examiner may think that you are not interested. So I would rather ask little or limited questions and then end the speaking test as soon as possible. He or she might think in that way. So you need to be uh, eager to talk and at the same time be positive. Sometimes there would be the questions which are to be answered a bit negatively, right? But even at that time you can tell the examiner that uh, in a bit different ways. Despite having some positive facts, there are some negative issues which I am going to talk about. If you are telling in this way, then it sounds a bit good, right? So that is oh, your PPT is not seeing in our screen. Is this same to others as well? As Naran is um, complaining about.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Even
sir.
I can't see, sir.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
So I'm just
You have to share your screen again.
okay.
For
So let me do it again then. I'm really confused because it is already over there. Are you able to see the now?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so you need to be willing to talk and at the same time be positive. Body language is really important. What does body language mean? Sudeep, 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 you there? Hmm. It happens. So it's turn off Samir now. So
Yes, sir.
what does body language mean?
Sir, it's nothing but it's how you sit in the chair,
Mhm.
and then um, it's like that, sir.
Okay, great. So what do you think, Shraddha? Are you agreed with what Samir has said?
Sir, yes, sir. I agree. Body language means
Mm-hmm.
when a person talks, like it's a
Mm-hmm.
non-verbal communication.
Mm-hmm.
How you show your posture and all,
Okay, great.
talking and
Thanks.
hand movements like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Shraddha. So it's turn of you, Naran. You there?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
I'm
so
here.
now you are able
Body
to.
language means as
Mhm,
as sir, as Shraddha said,
mhm,
body language means posture and
mhm,
movement of hands,
mhm.
facial expressions,
Yes,
eyes,
exactly.
like this, sir.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, sir. I am seeing, sir.
Yes.
Okay, great. So fantastic. So what Naran has recently said is exactly the same, and almost all of you are true in explaining the what the body language is. Definitely, how you are sitting over here, what the thing, what the word or what the word you are pronouncing in front of the examiner, and how your facial expressions, eyes, hands, other body parts are exhibiting while pronouncing the particular sentence or the words, that matters at all, right? So if you are using or taking the assistance of body languages, then definitely they will assist you to deliver exactly what you mean to say, right? So that would be tested over here when we are actually practicing the speaking test over here, right? So you need to focus on body language, you need to be willing to talk to, sit comfortably, and try to show with your body that you are relaxed, but not too relaxed. फेरि एकदमै रिल्याक्स मोडमा जान्छु भनेर चट्ट थोरै लिक्वर सिक्वर खाइदिएर फेरि इक्जामको दिनमा हल्लिँदै जाने होइन, पुरा रिल्याक्समा छु सर भन्ने होइन, नो, इट्स नट।
So liquor खाएपछि झन् खतरा इङ्ग्लिस आउँछ नि त
त्यही त्यही हुन्छ भनेरै अहिले भनेको, मलाई शङ्का थियो कि राहुलले त्यस्तो गर्नुहुन्छ भन्ने। जस्ट किडिङ। Okay, so रिल्याक्स इन द सेन्स द्याट टक्क गरेर फेरि त्यो एकदम स्टाइलिस तरिकाले बस्ने होइन, त्यस्तो पनि होइन। एउटा नर्मल्ली तपाईँले बिहेभ गर्दाखेरि, बस्दाखेरि, साथीसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि कसरी बस्नुहुन्छ होइन, त्यो एउटा नर्मल उसबाट जानुहोस् कि। द्याट इज वाट आई intended to say. Okay, so be positive and interested to talk. You need to be eager to talk to the examiner. That is why you have paid for. तपाईँले पैसा तिर्नु भएको छ हजुर, तपाईँको आफ्नो इक्जाम के अरे टेस्ट, तपाईँको स्पिकिङ टेस्टको क्यापेबिलिटिज कस्तो छ, ल मेरो इक्जामको के अरे स्पिकिङ टेस्टको एबिलिटी भनौँ न, स्पिकिङ एबिलिटी कस्तो छ टेस्ट गर्दै भनेर पैसा तिर्नु भएको छ। पैसा तिरेको मान्छे नि लजाएर नर्भस भएर हुन्छ। You need to be confident enough over there, right? You need to be positive and willing to talk to. That's the case. Okay, next. Just a moment. Yes. And sometimes there would be the yes no questions, type questions over there, right? So you do not simply say yes. Are you feeling okay? If the examiner is asking you this question, you can say yes or no over there, right? So at that time too, you cannot say yes or okay. Why I am pausing over here is that I did get one message over here privately. That's why I was answering over here. Okay, no problem at all. So if the examiner is saying to reply to ask to answer you, then do not simply say yes or no to the question he or she has asked to you. And you should not also wait for the next question over there, because if you are speaking with specific pause, then definitely he or she would be asking for the questions, or you can continue speaking over here. But remember that you need to you should not keep on speaking and speaking, and there wouldn't be any time that is left for this, for the examiner to ask the questions to you. No, do not do that as well. Okay. Okay, so remember
Okay, sir.
that this test is your opportunity to speak, right? This is the particular opportunity that you are getting over there to speak, and you need to utilize. You need to utilize that time. And I told you that it does not exceed more than 15 minutes. And why not to use that time to the fullest? This is my request. Okay, so the examiner is expecting you to talk to a positive, intelligent, and a courteous candidate for sure. So examiner would be expecting you to be positive, to be intelligent, and at the same time you are expected to be courteous enough, right? तपाईँ पोजिटिभ हुनु पर्यो, इन्टेलिजेन्ट हुनु पर्यो, तपाईँ त्यो एउटा डिसेन्ट देखिनु पर्यो, त्यस्तो मान्छेसँग बोल्न रुचाउँछ। पहिल्यै नाक खुम्च्याएर बसेको छ भनेदेखि गरेर नाकमुख सबै खुम्च्याएको छ भनेदेखि एट द्याट टाइम नो पिपल वुड बी टकिङ टु यु पोजिटिभली ओभर देयर. Only some of the people, especially your near and dear ones, might speak in order to know the actual fact what had happened to you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
कसै कसैलाई छोला नि फेरि, किन भन्दा अब अहिलेका मान्छेहरूका साथीहरू हुन्छन्, अन्यथा नहोस्. ओके, नेक्स्ट. Okay, so before you need to know about, before you going to appear in the actual examination test, you need to know what criteria would be considered. It means what are the criteria that would be. Okay, we are getting just 10 minutes time reminder from Zoom. Then after the end of the same, we would be again joining over there, right? Okay, no worries further. So
Okay, sir.
in order to do the best, we need to know how the examiner would test your overall speaking test and the abilities over there, right? So what do you think? What are the skills that will be taken care into, or what will be checked? Any clues from Nader? What is looked after over there?
I think, sir, first thing is the grammatical
Mhm.
grammatical error or grammatical um,
Correct.
grammatical
That's fine. So,
grammar is checked. Yes, sir.
okay, good. So it's now turn of Shraddha. So what other things would be considered by the examiner? What do you think?
So maybe, like Narayan said,
Mhm.
grammatical errors and
Great, fine, thank you. So it's turn of Rahul. You there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what other things would be tested?
So posture.
Posture. Okay. Do you think that pronunciation is necessary in speaking?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So, Sudeep, what other
Yes,
metros
sir.
are considered over there in speaking? Is your mic fine at this moment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what do you think? What other things would be tested or would be considered except than your friends are telling over here?
A fluent speaking,
Mhm,
right with your and
mhm,
the pronunciation definitely. Body
mhm.
posture.
Okay, thank you. So let's know what are the examiner frame or what are the criteria that your examiner would be testing on your ability to speak. Okay, the first and the most important thing is that, as Sudeep told,
Fluency.
fluency. Fluency and coherence would be tested over there. Does your speech flow normally or with the proper pace or not? That would be tested. Can you please easily understand? I mean, can your voice, or can your speech would be easily understood, or it is too fast to be understood, or it is too slower to feel that you are speaking albeit notoriously or something like that. So it would be tested over there, right? So fluency does not mean that if you are speaking so fastly, then that does not mean that you are maintaining the fluency. Fluency simply means that you are speaking in your one pace, proper pace, which can be understood well enough, right? So speaking so fast in this way, लेर्नु है यसरी बोलेको छु नि म, होइन? Does it speak flow fast? Can it please easily understood or something like that? Oh no, it is not maintaining the fluency over there because I am speaking a bit faster, and it sometimes may not be speaking, understood properly over there. And at the same time, if you are speaking properly with proper pace or gap or pause or not, that would be tested, right? And at the same time, whether what does coherence means, whether your ideas are kept properly or not. Sometimes what would happen is that if I may ask one of you over here to talk about your daily routine, then you might start that I would be waking up at around around 7 a.m. in the morning, and I would be generally visiting to latrine, and finally I would be preparing my breakfast and having that out, and I would be preparing for the office or something like that. In this way, you can be you can tell me about your daily routines over there, right? It is maintaining the coherence, but sometimes what would happen is that you may start from at what time you would be waking up. I think, yes, generally in each day I would be waking up at around 7 a.m. in the morning, and thereafter I would generally visit my latrine and to be fresh over there. I forgot to talk about yesterday's IPL match. It was fantastic. It was so competitive that I had never been in such match before. You can say so, right? And again, okay, thereafter I would prepare the breakfast and I would be have it for my own. In that way, you can say, but you are not maintaining the coherence. Why it is so, Shraddha? Hello, Shraddha, you there? Mm. This is one of the diseases that I am experiencing these days. Sometimes one would be lost, and next time another strange microphone would not be working. Anyways, so that is not coherence in a sense that the speaker is telling about IPL. That is the details of earlier day, yesterday's, right? So that is not to be included because I'm asking about your single day, particular day only. So in this way, fluency and coherence would be tested. Next one, Lexical resource. What does lexical resource mean? Sudeep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what does lexical resource mean?
We can lexical research means, sir, while we are speaking, we can use the variety of the vocabulary,
Mm-hmm,
like the synonym of the different words and the,
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
think, sir, like that.
Good, good, good. That's fine. Yes, exactly it is. So lexical resource means whether you are utilizing using different varieties of words or sentence patterns or the structures or not. That matters a lot. Simply we can answer in the same pattern, same sentence structure, but it does not contribute for the marks in overall sense. Why it is so? It is actually testing your ability to speak. If you are speaking a bit differently, then that would be noticed, and that may contribute for the what, for the marks. But if you are
Yes, sir.
speaking normally from the same patterns with no different sentence structures, and you repeating different types of words or the verbs or different what to say, different connectives or something like that, then it does not contribute for the actual marks. Okay, so that is
Okay.
to be highlighted. So um, do you use different varieties of vocabularies or the words in your speech? That is simply, simply refers to lexical resource. Okay,
Lexical
so
research.
while speaking, you need to use varieties of words, varieties of sentences, and its structures are to be used, so that your voice or your overall speaking would not be monotonous. Otherwise it would be monotonous and you are likely to get the lower marks. Next, I think Naran has said earlier, yes, grammatical range and accuracy is equally important in speaking, right? Do you use the English grammar properly when you speak or not would be tested. That is to be highlighted, right? So,
Yes, sir.
and what you need to do is that sometimes the speaker would ask you the question which is to be answered, is to be answered in future tense, right? But you might answer in present tense or sometimes in past tense or something like that. So you need to avoid that and you need to practice it. How can you improve it? Means if you are practicing it well in advance, then definitely you can improve your speaking abilities. And you can also think about the types of questions that are likely to be asked by your examiner in your actual exam test. Okay, so we do have less than 1 minute, then we would be entering into uh, Sudeep is doing what you are doing, Sudeep.
Sorry, sir. My
Okay,
screen
no
is.
problem at all. So we are just having less than 1 minute time. So we'll be again meeting in the next part two. Okay. Okay. Let's join to the next part two.